This is it. Good evening. It is Pop Astro Live, brought to you by the Society for Popular Astronomy. I am Vicky Video, and we are just going to play the countdown while we wait for all of our fantastic viewers and participants in the chat room to join the live stream. Good evening, popular astronomers. How are you tonight? It's Vicky and Cosmo coming at you live from Anglesey. If you are watching the repeat of this video, then hello and welcome. This goes out every Friday night from 8 p.m. And yes, it is probably one of the most eclectic and colourful astronomy chat shows in the universe that's co-presented by a toy sloth. Caveat. There we go. Already got the comments coming in. Oh, here's Steve Salmon. Oh, Steve, I said, I think hopefully we can have you on next week or the week after from the British Interplanetary Society. I'll catch up on that email. Hello, Vicky. I am not a cat. But I am a human accompanied by a sloth, which is just one down in the hierarchy of nutsness. Yeah. Good evening, all. Hello, Peter. You're watching on YouTube. It's really nice to see the YouTube audience starting to take off as well. Hello, Vicky. Enjoyed the pics of your walk. Oh, thank you. I've had a lovely walk today. Might even have a little bit of a suntan because it's been stunning here on Anglesey today and the day before yesterday. We've had full sunshine. Ian Baker. Hello, hello. How are your eyes getting on? How are your peepers? Can you see some stars tonight, Ian? I know you've been having some ops on your eyes. Hello, Vicky. Oh, my gosh. I've seen the pictures of the snow in Scotland. Freezing. Hi, Jed Mac. Enjoyed your tour of Holy Island today, Jared from the Wirral. Yes, really beautiful. So I live on Holy Island, which is an island off an island off an island. So it's Anglesey is an island off the British Isles, and Holy Island is an island off Anglesey. And on the other side of all of those islands is the actual island, because we're right in the Irish Sea. So that's good, isn't it? So, oh my God, I can't not pretend that I've just had a blimmin' nightmare. I know you've all been following the saga of my internet. Why is it that every single week something goes wrong just before this live show? I swear to God, this is the show that gives me grey hair. So, you will know that in the past I had lots of internet problems, and I finally found what I thought was a forever home in the stables, in the laundrette, on the deserted holiday park where I am currently residing. And then we had the internet turned up on the holiday park a tiny little bit, enough to allow me to live stream last week. Now, that was very exciting. It went up to about 5 or 6 megs, and I was really excited. But it turns out that yesterday we found out we'd been on the wrong transmitter and we'd actually gone up to 10 megs. So I felt like I was in Tron yesterday. I kept doing the speed test and it was like up at 10. I was like, I can't believe it. This means I'm going to be able to live stream from my new home studio, and life is going to be fantastic. So we had a beautiful walk this afternoon, a really lovely, leisurely long walk up in the mountain on Holyhead Mountain, incredible views and sunshine. Took the other half for his vaccination, which was really exciting. Came home to have a really leisurely bath, to take it right up to the time when I would usually sit down and write this show. And I sat down to use the internet at like 6:30 or whenever it was. Bear in mind, I'm on air at 8 and had not written the show. And the internet was broken, completely off, completely locked out of the router. So our brand new fast 10 meg internet. So I had to throw everything in the car and come back down to the freezing stables again. So to say that my heart is slightly in my mouth. Do you remember last time I came here, the heater didn't work, did I? And I was absolutely freezing in a room made of solid glass. So I've been meditating a little bit before I was on air this evening. So if I'm slightly frantic and the show is slightly cobbled together, blame the internet, not me. Still waiting for a clear night to do the Star Watch. Fingers crossed for tonight. Thankfully, we've got a clear sky here. Every joy has its price. Wasn't that a song? Every joy has its price. Or maybe that was Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Maybe that was the deleted fourth verse. Who knows? So at least you're here. Thank you, Steve. God, honestly, it's the show that turns my hair grey. It really is. Hi, Bob Jessamine. Still waiting for my lovely constellation profile picture like the one you've got. Really, really love it. Very good. So what have we got tonight? As you can see, the chat room is very vibrant. If you are participating live, get involved, make your comments pop up in the chat, and we'll show them on the screen. It's a really great way to make new friends in the chat room. Why don't you do something a little bit different this evening? Why not send a friend request to somebody in the chat room? Because rest assured, once all the lockdowns ease, we're going to be having SPA parties the length and breadth of the universe. And when you walk into one of those cosmic parties, you're going to know the people there because you've preempted a friendship thanks to Pop Astro Live. So feel free to participate in the chat room and also to send a few friend requests. It's really good making friends with as many astronomers as possible because it means that your timeline gets full of cosmic pictures. It's really good, isn't it? So on the show this evening, we have got Robin Scadgel of the SPA on our Winter Skywatch campaign. We'll be encouraging families to look to the stars during lockdown by taking part in the Great Winter Skywatch. To be fair, it leaves the Big Garden Bird Watch and Winter Watch standing in the shadows. Then we have got author Ian Ridpath and the Constellation Master as well, with the story of Astro Google Doodles. Google Doodles, I really like saying that. Now, I've had a preview of the Google Doodle presentation this evening, and it's really, really good. He's got some fantastic little animated doodles and the stories behind them. Who knew that Google went to so much effort with their astro and physics doodles? They are fantastic. Eleni will be along with the latest space news, space weather and space traffic and travel, and also the latest hot press releases in the world of astronomy. Then it's the return of Mathieu Isidro from the Square Kilometre Array with news on the latest milestone in the development of this exciting new observatory, which will be run from Jodrell Bank and probably going to be the biggest science experiment in the known universe that we know of. So where's he gone? Where's Cosmo? Where's me sloth gone? Where's he gone? Oh, he's down here. Cosmo has been knocking around the universe, so we'll have Where's Cosmo been on holiday too this time. I tell you, honestly, sometimes I feel like this sloth is the only thing that I've got to cling on to. In the absence of humanity, we are now going to go over to Robin Scadgel, who looks like he might be outside. Are you incoming in 3, 2? Well, let's have a look here, Robin. How do we get you on the screen? Add to stream. Here he is.
Hi.
Hey.
You got me.
Look at you outside.
I'm outdoors. A bit of a dodgy link, perhaps. I just had to connect to the right USB and all that. But you can see me. Can you hear me? Okay.
We're reading you and hearing you and seeing you loud and clear.
Right, yeah. If there's a lot of noise in the background, that's the mighty M40, which is about 300 yards in that direction. And it's really noisy because the wind is coming from the east and it's blowing all the noise of all the lockdown traffic, which of course is minimal at this time of night. Well, I don't believe a word of it. Everyone's racing from London to Birmingham. And that's what we've got. I came outside because I thought it was going to be clear. And now I'm going to point the camera up at the sky and you can see what we're faced with. This is going to be pretty typical for a lot of people, I guess. Here we go. Well, I don't know if there's can anyone see a star up there? You can see odd gaps, but maybe we're out of luck. No, I don't think so. Let's I'll tilt it down again and I'll step back into camera. There we go. Hi. Well, as you said, this is about the Great Winter Watch and the Winter Skywatch. And the idea is that everybody goes out, wraps up really warm. I'm glad that the wind has dropped a bit tonight because it was really freezing here earlier on. It is actually freezing. It's about -2 here in the moment in the garden just outside High Wycombe. But the idea is that lockdown, what can people do? A lot of people are keen on astronomy and they want to see the sky. It's something you can do from your back garden. So we thought we would help out by providing a link to a PDF that people can download, anyone can download, which shows a sky map and lists the things to look for up in the sky. Now, if it were clear, which is still cloudy, I would be able to see Orion over there. I would be able to see the plough up there. I can't even see a star at the moment. And we'd see all the other things like Leo just rising over in the southeast there. And there are lots of things to sky. I'm sure a lot of SPA members know the sky really well, but the idea is that we get the general public interested, people who are not actually amateur astronomers, and they want to know about the sky and want to find things for themselves. And the idea is that they can download this PDF and then go out whenever it's clear. You don't have to be there. Obviously, you can't go into the garden with them these days, and look at the sky, compare it with the map that we've given, and find Orion for themselves and pick out the various features. We've even given them links to finding the planet Uranus and the asteroid Vesta with binoculars. Not difficult to do. You can do that, and it's on the PDF. But the idea is that anyone can download it and take it outside in the sky for themselves. Now, we're getting publicity of this. It's been in a few newspapers already, and we're hoping that you can tell all of your friends about it, all your neighbors, grandchildren, children, friends and neighbors about this, so that they can go out and look for themselves instead of having to get you round there and show them the sky.
Oh, well done, Robin. Thank you so much for that. So we've been in the paper then. Which paper have we been in? I'm famous at last.
Well, I know that Paul Sutherland said that we've been in quite a few already. He sent me a link to one in Aberdeen. And I'm sure it's been in quite a few local papers. So we're all over the country at the moment. And the other thing is, of course, you can go to the SPA website and download the PDF, and you can give the link to popastro.com to friends and anybody who might be interested, and spread the word. And right at the top of the Pop Astro page at the moment is a big banner all about the Great Winter Skywatch. So no excuses, do it today. And as Vicky would say, for every share you do, some alien civilization is saved from a supernova explosion by the actions of a superhero.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, please do.
Every time you share that, there'll be somewhere in the universe a supernova explosion, which an alien civilization will have been saved by the action of a superhero. We don't know which one it will be, but there's bound to be one somewhere.
So we are a voluntary society. So every time you share this or spread the word of the society and get more members, it just adds more fuel to our fantastic fire and keeps us burning bright and running out of metaphors. But yeah, why is it so important to spread the word of the SPA?
Well, of course, we want astronomy, everyone to learn about astronomy, everyone to know about astronomy. And a lot of kids in particular are mad keen on astronomy. Whenever I do back in more open times, I do an observing session out under the sky. The number of kids that turn up is amazing. Huge numbers of them turn up. And so there's obviously a lot of interest out there. And of course, for kids, we've got the young stargazers in the SPA. When we started out, when I joined at the age of 15, I was joining the Junior Astronomical Society. But in those days, it was a different world. And a lot of kids, there was absolutely no way to find out about astronomy. These days there is, but sometimes the information you get isn't always what you would want. It's maybe designed for grown-ups, or it doesn't help very much. So get your friends, neighbors, grandchildren, whatever, to find out about the SPA. And if they're really keen, then get them to join the SPA. And the more people we have, the better it'll be for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely, Robin. I think, what can I say? I think when you get kids involved in astronomy, it can spark off an amazing... Oh, have you seen a fireball, Robin?
No, I can see a star. Let's see, which one's that? Hang on, I'll point the camera up.
We've got a star, everybody! We've got a star! Whoa!
Right above that tree, there you are. Can you see one? Might be hidden by the tree. Oh, there's another one just appearing. I think that was right. I think that's Orion up there, actually. I can't see much of it myself, but yeah, we've got stars in the sky. Just to prove that we can occasionally see them. They've all gone out.
In the 6 months that I've been doing this, I think that might be our first live star. So we've passed a milestone.
Well, I was determined to do it tonight because this is the great opportunity. There's I think that spectral shows up there. If it clears again in the next minute or two, I'll point up the camera again, and what's behind me? No, more clouds.
So what are your thoughts, Robin, on how this show is reaching out then? Because it's quite different what we're doing here. And thank you for all your help with this show, Robin, because I know you're editing the magazine still, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm in the seat for quite a while by the look of it. But if anyone wants to take over, I'm quite prepared to move over and enjoy my retirement. But it's a really fascinating thing, and we've got lots of articles lined up for the next few months. So due to people like Catherine Rayner Evans, who's our features editor, who's been bringing articles in for us. And lots of other people who are really helping out with the magazine. So it's making my life a lot easier as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of articles coming up. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Robin. And thank you so much for this opportunity to do this lovely show. One last plug for the Skywatch, please, so people know what to do.
Yeah, go to thepopastro.com, and right at the top of the webpage, you'll see a link to Winter Skywatch. Tell everyone about it, and make sure that if they want to know more about astronomy, they can go to the SPA. They don't have to join, but hopefully it will just trigger off something in them, and they will want to spend the miserly £23 that it costs to join the society for a whole year. And if you're a young astronomer, it's only £16. What wonderful value it is. And where can you get better value than that, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, Robin. Okay, well, you go inside and get warm then.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye. Oh, isn't that lovely? Thank you so much to everybody at the SPA who lets me do this stream every Friday. Thank you for all your comments. Keep them coming in. Let's see what's happening in the chat room. Hi, Robin. I think we should have a campaign to bring back Stargazing Live, a great educational resource. Wasn't it good fun? It was really good. I'd like a cameo on that next time. Please, if somebody could speak to the powers that be. We could do our own, really, couldn't we? Fireball in Puppis. Is it Puppis or Pupis? I'm going to say Puppis. Fireball. Has anybody seen a fireball? Super views of all the top motorways in the UK, M41, M42 and M44. Very nice. Oh, Sandra Grace, thank you. Yeah, that was really nice of Robin, wasn't it? And he does edit our magazine so wonderfully. So if anybody fancies a foot up into the world of astronomical publishing, we are looking for an editor for the Popular Astronomy magazine, which is out every 2 months. It's going to look great on your CV. Thanks so much for all. Oh, thanks, Kath. Thank you. Oh, my double chins came on then. Won't do that again. Oxford University did one. Oh, excellent. Obviously missed that. Oxford University did one 2 weeks ago. It's online and available on YouTube. Hopefully a clear night tomorrow night. Oh, Sonia is, I think, one of our newest members and hopefully going to be working on a weather forecast for us. Waiting to see. Oh, it's a surprise. Sonia and me are plotting something for the SPA, and it's going to be a lovely surprise. So we'll keep quiet about it for now. So I forgot to do something. Plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug. What's in it this week? Down in the stables, it's the musty water from the disused tap. But it's cold. The groundwater is good and cold. The groundwater is good and cold. Okay. Cosmo seems to be becoming more of a star every week. He is the telescope sloth. He was abandoned here. He dangles off the end of my telescope. And then occasionally I grab him in to tell me, well, he's been on holiday actually this week. So in the chat room, please answer to me, first person who can guess where Cosmo's been on holiday. Now he's got a heck of a tan. What's that? Sonia's put a little smiley face. Yeah, me too. Emulate the emoji. Where have you been, Cosmo? It's a live CloudWatch special. That's what happens when you try doing something like this in the UK. Well, if we were the Cloud Appreciation Society, this would be the most amazing broadcast of all time, and it'd be very busy with lots of thrilled people spotting mammotus and the likes. Okay, so in the chat room, answers please. Where's Cosmo been on holiday? It's very hot, isn't it, Cosmo? Look at that tan. He's actually white in real life. This is his little grey tan that he's got. It's 15 million degrees Celsius. That's your first clue. Where could he have been? It's 15 million degrees Celsius. That was very hot, and his ice pop melted. Okay, second clue. 10 times as dense as gold or lead, isn't it, Cosmo? So it's 15 million degrees Celsius, 10 times as dense as gold or lead. Did you bring me some gold back, Cosmo? No. Okay. And the pressure is, oh, someone's got it right. I'll read the last one. The pressure is 340 billion times the atmospheric pressure of Earth's surface. Heavy going and very hot, Cosmo. Oh, look at all these correct answers. Well done. You all got it right. The sun, center of the sun. Well done, John. Has he been to the sun? He has. He didn't bring me back a stick of rock, did you, though, Cosmo? Core of the sun. There we go. Sirius B. Oi, Gwyneth. Nice one. Yes. So good guess, though. Good guess. And a neutron star there from John McAvoy. He's just been to the plain old boring sun. That's where Cosmo's been to. So, here we go. Now, if you're a member of, no, not if you're a member of the SPA, if you go to the SPA shop, you can buy all sorts of wonderful SPA merchandise. And tonight I've managed to, I think, bring the majority of it down here. Now, apparently, this amazing thing, have a look at this. This beautiful, I don't even know what these things are called. What are they called, these shifty lifty things? Shifty difty things. These things that you tilt and they make like a guinea pig noise, whatever they're called. What is this technology called? I don't even know what it's called. Can somebody research what this stuff is called, please? This particular substance that you flicker backwards and forwards. Is it called flipper squeak? It's flicker squeak. It's a flicker squeak. Now, I'm just told that apparently there is new Milky Way information in this because even my learned astronomy teacher had never seen certain parts of this before. And I can't remember what it was that he's seen. But this wonderful thing is available in the SPA shop. Imagine that on your fridge. Imagine that on your fridge. And it's got something really exciting on it, which I've never seen before. The Norma arm. Did you know? Here's Ian Ridpath. We'll put him on in a minute and see if he knows what the Norma arm of the Milky Way is. Probably. I'm sure he will, won't he? You should do a thermos cup for people to buy. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, excellent. Okay, now we're going to go over to Ian. I've had a sneak peek of his presentation about Google Doodles this morning. I love saying Google Doodles. And it's really, really good. Share this video, please. Every time you share it, an alien civilization is spared from some kind of terrible explosion. That was Robin's idea tonight. It's a lenticular file. Is this called a lenticular file? The Rolling Stones used it on an album cover. Okay. Ian, you're coming on in 3, 2, 1. If you want to go and buy a lenticular file of the Milky Way, it is available in the Pop Astro shop. And Ian is coming now. Hey, hello. Ian.
Hello. Yes.
Hi, how are you this evening?
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
This is your second visit with us, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Quite a few months since the last one, but we talked about... Did we talk about constellations? We probably talked about constellations. I usually talk about constellations, but not today, because I've been looking at Google Doodles, which, as you say, is a wonderful... wonderful thing to be able to say, Google Doodles.
It sure is.
I don't know if people actually notice Google Doodles. They're at the top of the Google search page, but most people don't normally take any notice of that. They just type their query in and off they go. But if you look at the Google search page, for over 20 years now, they've had some little graphic picture at the top representing some anniversary or celebration of somebody's are we doing that ASMR thing now, or
is it? Do you get that? Do you get ASMR? Do you have it yourself?
Okay, I won't answer that question on the grounds it might incriminate me, but yeah, I mean, if people are talking softly and gently, which I never do, so no one ever gets it with me. But going back to Doodles, have you seen today's one? Bet you don't know what today's one is.
I did. Is it Chinese New Year?
It's Chinese New Year. Have you wished everyone a happy Chinese New Year in Chinese?
It's yeah, I can't remember what it is. Tell me what it is again.
I don't know. Yeah, Year of the Ox, I think it is. So good for making oxtail soup, perhaps. But they all started over 20 years ago, and if I've got a screen share thingy here, which I can show you. Can you see that?
Here it is.
Is that working? Except I've started at the end. There we are. This is the most recent one. There's been over 4,000 Google Doodles since they started, and about getting on for 100 of them have got some kind of astronomical connection. This was the most recent one on the winter solstice last year, which wasn't only the winter solstice, it was also the day of the close conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, if you could see it. And there was a Google Doodle which incorporated both of them. You can see it's winter because there's snow on the Google logo, and at the bottom there's the Earth with a white cap, which I suppose is meant to be a snowy northern polar cap. But there's Jupiter, and these things are animated, and quite a lot of them are animated. And if we run this one, we can see that Saturn comes into the picture, tips its rings, the high fives with Jupiter, and the Earth bounces up again. See, and there we are, bing, bang. So it's a combination of the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn and the winter solstice, and there was a Google. And you can find all of these there is an archive, and you've probably missed loads and loads you've never even seen. But if you go on the Google archive, you can find all 4,000 plus of them. So if you've got nothing better to do for one evening, you can go and just Google Doodles, Doodle archive, and you'll find them. So that was the most recent one with an astronomical connection. I'm not actually hearing you, Vicky. Are you hearing me? I'm not hearing you. Hold on. I've lost you. I can't hear you.
What's happened?
Oh, that's it. I can hear you now.
Oh, we've gone down the wormhole.
Did you lose your... All right, I'll go back to my full screen. There we are.
That's better, yeah.
Right, you can... Right. Did you see all that?
I saw all that as my backdrop fell down. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, okay. So there's been a disaster your end, has there? Well, that's what happens if you work in the garage, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So nothing about spiral arms of the galaxy in any of these. By the way, the Norma arm is a minor spiral arm of the galaxy, so it's not really worth paying much attention to.
Who's Norma then?
Norma, constellation Norma.
I did not know there was a Norma constellation.
Oh, well, we'll have to do constellations again then, won't we?
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Yes, okay, yeah, but I was paying attention. Yeah, feel free to continue.
But it's not. Yeah, and that graphic you were showing, that was an artist's impression that was drawn up after, I think it was the Spitzer Space Telescope did some work on the structure of our galaxy, and it pretty much proved that our galaxy is a barred spiral and not a normal spiral, which doesn't matter because there's plenty of barred spirals. But anyway, I mentioned about the early Google Doodles. There we are, and it all started back in 1998 when Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who were the founders of Google, went off on holiday for a week. They went to some festival, some hippie new age festival thingy in California, I suppose, called the Burning Man Festival. And they put up behind the Google logo, and this is how the Google logo looked back in 1998. The typography was much more old fashioned then. And they put up the Burning Man logo behind the Google logo, just to say, like, we're out of office. We've gone off to this event, so don't expect to hear from us for a week. So it was like an out of office message, and everyone liked it so much they started doing a few, and then it became more and more regular, and now there are actually several a week, and different ones go to different parts of the world depending whether there's some famous person has a birthday out in Singapore or somewhere. They'll see it, we won't. We'll see something else. But the first astronomical one, or astronomically related one, was in 2003. And you can see how the Google typography has changed, rather old-fashioned, a bit more modern there. And it was to do with Einstein's 124th birthday. They don't really seem to go in for round numbers. They just pick any old birthday. But you can see they've managed to put a caricature of Einstein into the Google logo. And the first O becomes his face, with sort of mad hair and moustache and eyebrows and things. And the E at the end becomes the E equals mc squared. So that was the first Astro-themed doodle. Now, are you still talking to me? Because I can't hear you again.
I am still talking to you, and people are here are asking questions like, who designs doodles?
Well, Google have a whole team of them who do them now. And if you have a look at the Google Doodle page, you'll find that you can actually suggest ideas yourself if you want to do that. But, you know, they really have a whole team of doodlers, as they call them. So, you know, and you can contribute ideas if you like. But first of all, have a look just to make sure that your idea hasn't already been taken. So this was the first Astro-themed one, but back in those days, they were totally static. They were just a simple graphic like we see here. But the first animated doodle was actually an astronomically related one. It was Isaac Newton's 367th birthday, nice round number. But maybe it's a prime number. Maybe they have some mathematical reason these days. I don't know.
They do. Don't have to choose some random anniversaries. You're never going to go and get a 367th birthday card in Clinton's, are you?
No, I don't. You'll have to write that one in yourself. Buy a blank for your own message. So that's the kind of card you're going to need. But if you look carefully at the first apple, there's the apple branch, like, you know, Newton's apples. You look very carefully at the first apple, and it does this. Did you blink and miss it? I'll do it again. There we are. There it is.
That was precisely when gravity was invented.
That was when gravity was invented, and Newton should have been sitting at the bottom, you know, sleeping. And then the apple falls on his head and wakes him up. So that was the first ever animated Google Doodle. It just so happened to be for Isaac Newton's birthday, 367th birthday. Now, the year after that, there was one of my favorites. There was a total lunar eclipse in June that year. And this very nice Google Doodle, you see that the moon replaces one of the O's in the Google logo. But that night, they took live images from the SLU telescope in the Canary Islands and stitched them together to make a little graphic of an animation of the progress of the eclipse. And if you find the Google Doodle, you can now run it, and it shows the various stages of the eclipse. There it goes. Wow. It's a bit jerky, but there we are. There's the complete eclipse worked in to the Google Doodle from live images taken by the SLU telescope. There, I'll just run it through.
That's so good.
So that was pretty clever, I thought. And then we come on another 5 years, and this is when the graphics start to get a whole lot better, I think, technically. And this one is for Caroline Herschel's 266th birthday. And we see Caroline Herschel out observing, and I wonder if you can spot all the things that are wrong with this doodle. I'll just run it. Here we are. So there's her skirt blowing in the breeze, and there she's looking through her telescope, and there are all these meteors shooting through the sky afterwards. Now, of course, Caroline was famous for discovering comets, and meteors and comets are completely different things, but people often confuse them. So there's a confusion there between meteors and comets. And she didn't use a refractor. She used a little reflector, which her brother William had made for her. And she actually observed not from some windswept heath, but from the top of her cottage, which was in the grounds of Observatory House at Slough. So if you can forgive all those technical errors, it's actually, I think it's really rather a nice little Google commemorating one of the first great women astronomers. Now, coming on to 2017, there were quite a number of Astro Doodles in this particular year, and this was a case of them responding to something that was in the news. That day, it was announced in the news that 7 Earth-sized exoplanets had been discovered, so they rushed out this doodle the same day, and we see the Earth with the moon looking over his shoulder behind him, and the Earth, or her, and the Earth looks through the telescope, and what does it see through the telescope? It says, an Earth-sized exoplanet. But hang on, there's more. 7. Hello, here we are. And then they go to, and the moon, cheers, hooray! There's a discovery, 7 Earth-sized exoplanets. We'll just run it again. Oops, no. Sorry, no. There we are. Run it again now. So as the Earth looking through a telescope, whoops, what does it see? There's an exoplanet. It's not the only one. There are 7 Earth-sized exoplanets. So that was responding the same day to the news of that discovery. Now, it's rather a nice piece of work, I think, that. Now, there's a space one here also in 2017. This is when the Cassini spacecraft flew between the body of Saturn and its rings. So here we see the Cassini spacecraft, and here comes Saturn, and Cassini flies, click, 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 like a paparazzi, checks about it with a camera. Yeah, there's the picture, and looks around. Is anyone looking? No, I'll just, oops, take a selfie. Yeah, so we'll just do that one again. Here we are. Here comes Saturn, smiles to the camera. Yay! And yes, got the picture. And then I'll just quickly, take one of myself. There we are. This is Cassini takes its selfie. So that was a space-related one. Now in August 2017, you probably remember there was the Great American Eclipse, as they called it, the band of the eclipse that went right across the United States, and there was a doodle for that. And for some reason, well, here we've got the sun taking the place of the second O in the Google logo, but for some reason we've got 2 cuddly aliens, a green and a purple alien, bobbing around in their little spaceships. And what are they doing? Well, they're actually they're biffing the moon back, forwards and across in front of the sun to cause an eclipse. And it would be nice if...
And that is precisely how an eclipse is formed.
Yeah, it would be nice if that happened over and over again. He liked it so much you could see it again. So that sort of goes on a fairly endless loop, unlike the real thing. But of course, it was clear that day, and a lot of people did see it. But I think this Google Doodle was probably only confined to North America, where the eclipse was visible. You might not have seen this one in the UK, but as I say, you can find them all on the Google archive. So I think that one's quite fun. And this one now this is really sophisticated. This is demonstrating the Chandrasekhar limit for Subraman Chandrasekhar's 107th birthday. And as you'll know, the Chandrasekhar limit is 1.44 solar masses, beyond which, if the white dwarf has more than 1.44 solar masses, nothing can stop it from collapsing into a neutron star or a black hole. So how do you demonstrate that in a Google Doodle? Well, they did it rather well, I think. Here's Chandrasekhar with a pair of calipers measuring up the sun. And next we see a pair of scales where the sun drops into one of the pans of the scales, but it's not heavy enough to outweigh 1.44 solar masses. But boom, now comes a white dwarf. It's heavier than 1.44 solar masses, and boom, it explodes as a supernova. So there we are. That's demonstrating the Chandrasekhar limit. I'll run that one again.
That's my favorite, I think.
Yeah, well, it's quite technical. There's the sun, and no, it's not heavy enough. No, bouncing up and down. No, it's not heavy enough. But the white dwarf that exceeds 1.44 solar masses exceeds the Chandrasekhar limit. And boom, boom!
Wow!
Off it goes as a supernova.
What a great way of conveying really abstract information.
I think that's really very clever. Yeah, and a lot of them are. Some of them are very nice pieces of artwork, and others are just, some very clever ideas. Now, this I think is my favorite. This is visually, this is absolutely beautiful.
Let's go full screen because this is spectacular.
Yeah, this is the Geminid meteor shower. And this one was released in 2018 for the Geminids, although obviously it applies every year. Now, the Geminid meteor shower is unusual in that it's caused not by the nucleus of a comet, but by an asteroid. And we see the sun, again, the sun making up the second O in Google, and the asteroid belt going around it. And as we run it, you'll see various stages in the story developing. And what's really beautiful is the 3D effect you get as one slide transfers into another. So there's the asteroid coming out of the asteroid belt, passing the sun, which breaks it up. And there's the chain of debris, which the Earth is passing through, and the bits of debris coming through the sky to create the Geminid meteor shower. And there's the constellation of Gemini, the twins up in the top left there. And goodness knows how long it took them to do that, but it's utterly beautiful. And I'll run it for you again. Now just look at the background, see the 3D effect of the stars and the Milky Way with the sun and the planets and the asteroid belt there passing in front of it. And there's the Earth passing through the trail of debris, which burns up in the atmosphere, causing the Geminid meteor shower. I think that is, artistically, I think that's really the most beautiful one that I have to show you this evening.
Oh, whoa. I mean, look, can we see that one once more, please?
Yeah, run it again. There we are. And again, as I say, you can find this online. You can run them online. You can download them yourself to on your computer. Show them your own Zoom meetings, maybe even a society meeting when we're allowed to meet again.
This has made me realize that I wish the whole of astronomy was in a cartoon form, because I would get my head around the concepts much better. These two in particular are just spectacular.
Yeah, and it's super widescreen panorama scope as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And the very last one I have for you here, it was just a couple of years ago. It was the first image of a black hole. Remember the Event Horizon Telescope imaged well, it wasn't a black hole itself, but it was the ring of hot gas around the black hole, the supermassive black hole at the center of the supermassive galaxy M87 in Virgo. And it took a picture which was shown in the press. And again, I think this was another one which responded very quickly to something that had appeared in the press. And there's the picture of the ring around the black hole. And you can see it sucks in stars, sucks in the Google logo, ping, and eventually even the picture itself. I'll just run that through again. So there's the black hole, everything goes in, including the picture, ping, and that's it.
Wow.
That's a suitable way to finish, I think.
I mean, I think Google is truly one of the most distracting things to have ever been invented. And now it's just got even more distracting. Ian, that was such a lovely presentation. So thank you so much for going to all that effort to find those great Google Doodles. The chat room has been vibrant with everybody saying how great they are. One of the things, because I did have to Google why the Google Doodles, and they say, in the words of their own designers, the appeal of the Doodles is how it shows the human behind the machine of Google. The Doodles started as a small thing, but have grown into an integral part of how we think of Google. They make them a company we see as fun. We think of them as interesting, intelligent people doing interesting, intelligent things. Ain't that the truth? We trust them. This is even more important as there are fewer and fewer people and more machines. Google's deep learning is now responsible for ranking your searches, and nobody knows for certain what it could be doing in the future. As tech progresses, it's more important than ever for Google to reassure users that there is a person behind the machine.
Yeah, and they know how many cat videos you've been watching.
Exactly, yeah. Have you seen, you must have seen the chap in the Zoom call with the cat face.
Yeah, we don't have any filters on stream thingy, whatever StreamYard, do we? So we can't.
By Mr. Fractal's the man with a million faces and counting. He's disappearing off to work. But don't worry, it's on repeat. So feel free to watch this anytime. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, Ian. Will you be taking part in our Great Winter Skywatch and downloading the PDF?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to now, aren't I?
I think you're contractually obliged.
Thank you for telling me, yes.
Thank you so much. Are you a member of the SPA forum, Ian?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a minute then. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Clear skies and apple pies. There we go. See you soon.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Yeah, Ian Ridpath there, the Constellation Master, as I've just nicknamed him. Thank you. That was great, Ian. Steve Salmon from the British Planetary Society says thank you so much. To anybody earlier who was asking what the date is, I'm led to believe, now I haven't Googled it, but the Google Doodle did tell me that it was Chinese New Year today. And one of the best takeaways on Anglesey is just down the road from here. So maybe when I've finished... Oh, no, I've not got a mask. I can't go in. Never noticed the doodles before. Thank you for showing them. So, yeah, we have got Eleni coming in a minute. She is due on to come on, hopefully, any minute now. So, what fun. I know it was really good, wasn't it? It was really, really good. So we are going to go over to Eleni now for the space news, the space weather, and the space traffic and travel. Here she comes. Hey.
Hello. Let me share my screen real quick here.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's have a look. Where is it?
Can you see?
Yeah, it's here now. Yeah. So how are you this evening?
I'm all right. I'm really, really cold. Like really cold. It's unbelievably cold.
Well, look how cold I am. I'm in a room that has got no heating. So.
Oh dear God, no! You are a hero. Seriously.
I am a hero of the SPA. I tell you, the lengths I go to broadcast this show, I swear to God, it's got more pitfalls than anything I've ever done in my life. This is a genuine labor of love. So
I think we should all chip in and get you a heater.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, we are going to go on to your news report now. So I'll let you take over for a few minutes. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome. Yeah. So I'm going to start with an interesting piece of news about Mars. So Mars has been quite popular these last few weeks. Lots of things happening with regards to Mars. So the thing I'm going to talk about is the discovery of a new gas in the Martian atmosphere. So the ExoMars orbiter actually discovered hydrogen chloride. So the gas could have been due to volcanic activity, but because it was discovered simultaneously at very distant regions, and because the other gases that you would expect to see from volcanic activity were not present, this could indicate to a completely different source for the gas. Now, why is that interesting, right? It would mean that our understanding of how the surface and atmosphere interactions happen in Mars might need some revisiting. There could be a new process, a new chemical process happening, and it could very well be driven by Mars's dust seasons. So it could shed light on the dust seasons themselves, and it could also potentially help understand how water has been lost from Mars over the course of its life as a planet. So that's why single gas is so very interesting. We're not going to move too far away from our solar system with the next piece of news. Oops. There we go. So this one is about the most distant known object up to date. So this object, with a very unfortunate nickname, Far, Far Out, don't blame me, astronomers are not particularly imaginative, like seriously, Far, Far Out, but anyway, it's still funny. So it was detected for the first time back in 2018, and it took a lot of observations from Gemini North, which is an optical and infrared telescope, to solidify the finding and confirm this to be the most distant object in the solar system so far. It's got a very elongated orbit, which means that at its farthest point from the sun, its distance is 175 AU. Now, astronomical units, just to clarify, this is one astronomical unit is the distance from the Earth to the sun. And at its closest point, it is at a 27 AU distance from the sun. So far out has a size of about 400 kilometers across, and it will most likely be classified as a dwarf planet, and hopefully we will change its name as well to something better. But don't hold your breath just yet. And I will end with some space weather and space traffic news, as always. So we've got 6 days until Perseverance lands on Mars. I'm so excited about that. I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I have the date on my calendar. I'll leave it at that. So it only has 11 million kilometers to go until it reaches Mars. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So probably next week when we talk, it will have landed, which is, I don't know, it's pretty exciting. And ESA is looking for astronauts. So if you know of any friends and family who could qualify, let them know, because they're looking for astronauts. And this is all part of the Artemis Gateway Lunar Outpost project, which is in collaboration with NASA. And it would be kind of like a road services thing. When you go from Earth to the moon, you could have a coffee there, you could just have a breather and stop and, use the facilities. Sort of like that, maybe a little bit more spacey. So the applications will open on the 31st of March and they will go on until May. So if anyone is interested, please have a look at ESA's website and put an application forth. You never know, right? You never know.
Oh, maybe. Well, I was looking at your Facebook for no reason other than you were standing on your head. You were standing on your head the other day. That's quite an astronauty thing to do.
Thank you. Yeah, I do like being upside down.
I don't. One time, a couple of years ago, in fact, it was on the way back from the SPA convention, and because it was down in Cambridge, and I stayed. Basically, I wanted to go to Alton Towers and ended up going all on my own to the roller coasters, and ended up being right at the front of the queue and getting in there very first, and ended up going, I think by midday, I'd been upside down 20 times.
I take it you weren't a fan of that, were you?
I've got a picture of my head and it was swollen up like a pumpkin. Yeah. There's a picture of me going into Alton Towers all smiley, and then the last picture is me with my headband all down, and all the fluid had gone to the top of my head. I just slumped, and I had to have a sleep in the back of my car because I was too sick to drive. So that's closest. That is the closest I will ever get to going to space. It's not going to happen, but maybe you might be able to hack it.
Maybe. Who knows? I will put an application forth. We'll see.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, we can watch Perseverance landing together on NASA TV.
That would be amazing.
It's got a camera and microphones on it, hasn't it?
It's got everything, yeah. We should be able to watch the landing happen live.
And it's also got a pretty cool package on board. What's it got on board that is the first ever?
Oh, I'm not sure. I remember a few of the things that it's got on board, but I can't. It's got a lot of interesting instruments and things for research, but
it's got the ultimate cool thing on it. It's got a little helicopter on board.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's called Ingenuity, I think. It weighs about 4 pounds, which is a couple of kilos. Little helicopter, but with big blades because of the lack of atmosphere there, and it's going to fly around and be an autonomous, cool little helicopter. How good's that?
I mean, that's just, we are so for, like, if you told to someone from like my grandma's generation that we would be sending tiny helicopters to Mars, they would be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, it's been so lovely to have you on, and thank you very much.
Thank you too. Have a good evening, everyone.
Goodbye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Great. There we go. So this is Pop Astro Live. If you are just tuning in, or you might have forgotten what on earth you're watching, it's the Winter Skywatch special. If you go to the Pop Astro website, you can download our PDF. This is basically an activity for you and the family to give you something to do in lockdown, because we've had Winter Watch, we've had the Great garden bird watch. And let's just have a quick look at that PDF. We are going to go to how do I get this on my screen? Is it going to do it? Application window, Chrome tab. Go to the SPA website, download this. Make sure you've got plenty of printer ink and enjoy. And it's got all this great information here. And also another thing that you can do is please join the SPA forum. This is a very vibrant hub of astronomy activity. I am assuming you have to be a member to join the forum. I'm not actually a member, so slap my wrist. Right, okay, we are going over to Mathieu Isidro from the Square Kilometre Array in one moment. Here we come. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we come. 3, 2, 1. Hi.
Hey, Vicky. You're right.
Hi, bonjour. How are you?
Bonjour. I'm very good. Thank you. Very good. Still at home. Hello. Oh, that's nice. Who is that?
This is Cosmo, the telescope sloth, and he flies around the universe and goes on all sorts of adventures.
I love it. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I broadcast every Friday on and off from some deserted remote stables on a remote holiday park, and it's scary down here. And sometimes, like this is all I've got, Matt. It's all I have.
And I heard you don't have a heater. Oh my God! At the moment,
I do actually have one tonight, but it did break the other week, and that was really cold. So I just wear as many clothes as I can.
Yeah, I can imagine. Absolutely. Well, you're a hero. Absolutely.
I am a hero.
I've got the fire on. I've got a fire going and everything.
So, how is life at the Square Kilometre Array?
It is very. So when's I was thinking, when's the last time I was on the show? It was a few months ago, wasn't it?
Maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, quite a lot has happened since. We've been pretty busy. So, look, I think when we spoke last time, I was explaining to you listeners that. We had this international treaty had been signed by a number of countries, and it was going through the different parliaments. The legislations was getting ratified in the different countries, including in the UK, and it'd been before the House of Lords. And so the House of Lords debated the SKA treaty, and we had a very nice speech from the Astronomer Royal, Sir Martin Rees, who gave a very good speech in favor of the SKA. So anyway, fast forward a few months, and the UK has ratified the SKA treaty. So they've signed this international treaty, which is fantastic. And we were officially born, because that we didn't exist. We were officially born on the 15th of January, 2021. So the SKA observatory is born. So you've got a new observatory in the world, a new international observatory, and we just celebrated the official launch last week. So that's really cool, and it doesn't happen very often. So I think I explained to you listeners at the time, the way we're set up, because there's so many countries collaborating together, there's different ways you can go about it. You can have a limited company in one country, you can have an association, or you can, there's other options as well, or you can have what they call an intergovernmental organization. So that's an organization where essentially the shareholders are the governments, right? The members are the governments. And so that's what they decided to go for. And it's been many, many years of negotiations and many years in the making. And that's now finally a reality. And it's very rare to have a new intergovernmental organization in the world. There aren't many. Now, your listeners will be familiar with CERN. That's probably the most famous one. That's an intergovernmental organization. The European Space Agency, that's an intergovernmental organization. Some of your listeners will be familiar with the European Southern Observatory. So they have their telescopes in Chile. That's another intergovernmental organization. But that's it. There really aren't that many.
They're scarce then. So that really is a massive deal for you then.
And so the UK is on there, obviously, South Africa and Australia, which is where we're going to have the telescopes, the Netherlands, Italy, Portugal, China, India, and a bunch of other countries are also, Canada as well. So many countries around the world are involved. So it's very exciting. We officially exist. And we can get on with the business of building this telescope, which is really exciting.
And has lockdown slowed down the building? I guess it has then.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So the situation obviously has been, very different in different countries. As you probably heard, Australia has been mostly spared. They've done really well in managing the pandemic. So things are, life is pretty normal in Australia. In South Africa, it's been more difficult, but they have maintained a high level of activity on the site. And in the UK, well, obviously you're aware of the situation, but we've been able to move forward with the legislation and the work we needed to do. There were a few months of delay, but really not that much considering. And because we're, this project is a multi-decade project. So, hey, what's a few months? Here's my dog. There you go. That's Misha saying hi.
Oh, hello. Hi, dog. Space dog.
Space dog. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen they're like buttons that you can get your pets to press and they can talk? Have you seen that?
Oh, no. Okay.
It's really, really amazing. There's cats and dogs do it. You buy these little round buttons and you pre-record your own words into them, like food or outside or friend or mad and people's names. And over time, the animals start to talk to you.
Oh, I like that.
There are a couple that I follow on social media, and there's even cats. There's cats that do it. And it shows, wow. So you might have a bit of a genius. You might be able to teach the animal about some.
She is pretty smart, so yeah, I might try it with her. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, they're like these buttons that come on little pads, and you lay them around. And I think you start them off like with food and going outside, and after a couple of weeks, all of a sudden they get it, and then we'll start using the buttons and string together quite complex sentences.
I'll have to try it.
So, Matt, thank you so much for explaining about the amazing news from the SKA. Now, when I saw you at Astro about 10 years ago, whenever it was,
I know, pre-pandemic.
You reeled off some amazing facts about the SKA, about, first of all, the amount of data that this thing is going to consume. And it just blew my mind. Can you remind me again, please?
Sure. Yeah, so we like to talk about the data because the SKA, so it's going to be a network of telescopes, right, connected together. And so they're going to produce so much data that we have to develop all these algorithms and these big supercomputers to process it, really, to process the amounts of data. So we like to talk about the data because the SKA is quite unique in that, in terms of the amount of data it'll produce. So just a few interesting facts for your listeners tonight. So for example, you're right now, you're using an internet connection, to log on and watch video. And if you're lucky, you have maybe a 20 megabit or 50 megabit or 100 megabit connection, which is decent. But each of the SKA telescopes, so you have a network in Australia, a network in South Africa, there will be, so you've got hundreds of antennas connected together by optical fiber, right? They'll be pumping out data via those optical fibers to supercomputers, and they'll be pumping out data at about 8 terabits per second. Now, that probably doesn't mean much to you, but 8 terabits per second of data, that is 100,000 times faster than your average broadband connection. All right, so imagine if you had access to that and you wanted to watch Netflix, your movies would download in an instant, so that's a pretty insane number, 100,000 times faster pumping out data from the universe than your average connection. And then the supercomputers we'll use, they have to be really, really huge, right? So if we'd built them, last year was 2020, wasn't it? If we'd built them in 2019, the 2 supercomputers we're going to need would have been the most powerful in the whole world, each of them. So that's how big those supercomputers have to be to process all of that data. And then in terms of the amount of data we're going to store every year, we won't be able to store all of it, nor do we want to, because a lot of it is noise. So the supercomputers are processing that data and getting rid of a lot of stuff. But what we're going to keep is going to be equivalent to about 1 million laptops worth of storage, right? So you've got your laptop right now or your computer. Just imagine 1 million of them lined up together, and that's what we're going to store every single year. So that's pretty insane.
Wow. Yeah, I've got that same feeling again, just like where's it all going to live? Where are the data?
Oh, and there's another one. So I mentioned that all these antennas, these hundreds and thousands of antennas, are going to be connected together by optical fiber, right? And so we've got all this optical fiber connecting the telescopes and the supercomputers. Now, if you lined up all of that optical fiber, you could wrap around the Earth twice. Oh, that's how much optical fiber we're going to use. So that's pretty amazing.
So what kind of science is all this technology going to be doing then?
Yeah, so look, I mean, the SKA is actually, I don't have one of the science books here. We've got two massive ones. They weigh as much as your carry-on luggage. I kid you not, they're
Are they
absolutely
the ones
massive.
that are in the reception there at the
They
SKA?
are these
Yeah.
massive books. Yeah, absolutely. You can stun someone with them. So I mean, we're going to do an insane amount of science. There are a few areas that particularly excite me that I can mention. So I think your listeners will be hopefully familiar with pulsars, right, which are rotating neutron stars emitting beams of radiations from the poles, right, beams of radio waves. So they spin really, really fast. 100 times per second in some cases. They were discovered in 1967 by Jocelyn Bell Burnell, and they're really exciting objects in and of themselves. But actually, what we can use them for is to observe gravitational waves. Now, you might think, well, hold on a minute, gravitational waves, that's sort of, they were detected by LIGO, and you need a different, how can the telescope do that, right? Well, those pulsars, they orbit really, really fast, and they're like super accurate cosmic clocks. They're super accurate in their the speed of rotation. So they're really they're more accurate than atomic clocks, which is pretty amazing. So you're observing them, right? And they're spinning really, really fast. Actually, I'll use my little chocolates. Got some chocolates here to represent that. There we go. So I've got my little chocolates. So you've got your pulsars that are spinning really, really fast. Now imagine a gravitational waves, right, passing through. Right, there's been two stellar mass black holes merging or supermassive black holes, and you've got these gravitational waves that are rippling through the fabric of space-time, right? And they're going through, and what's going to happen to your pulsar is it's going to bubble up and down like a cork on a lake, right? On these gravitational waves, and what's going to happen is that the distance between the pulsar and the Earth is going to shift a little bit as it bubbles up and down, or back and forth. That distance is going to shift a little bit, and if you have a radio telescope that's accurate enough, you're able to detect that the slight delay in the signal, the radio signals that comes from the pulsar. So you're able to deduce that there's a gravitational wave that passed through. Now, if you're able to map all of the pulsars in the galaxy, like the SKA will be able to do because it'll be so sensitive, you're essentially building a galactic-sized gravitational wave detector, which is just, mind-blowing. So that's a pretty cool area of science, right? I mean, that's pretty amazing, and we'll be able to test Einstein's theories to another level, which is fantastic. And then what else can I mention? Yes, we'll be building huge 3D maps of the universe. So just imagine your navigators, back in the day, sailing the oceans of the world. They were mapping the coastlines, right, of new lands that we never explored, right? And the further they went and the more navigators went, the more the map would sort of appear and reveal the shape of the continents. Well, essentially, our telescopes are doing the same thing. My dog's going to eat the chocolates. Have to be careful. So essentially, what they're doing, we're scanning the skies and we're mapping galaxies, right? We're identifying galaxies that we've never observed before. And so we'll be creating like an atlas, if you want, of the universe, mapping millions of galaxies in the universe at all sorts of distances, closer and further away from us. And so essentially, you're going to end up with this massive 3D atlas of the universe and all the galaxies and how they gather together in clumps and filaments. And we'll have this incredible map of the universe, right, which is absolutely fantastic. So we like to think like, these telescopes are like the 21st century navigators of the universe, which is quite cool. And of course, it'll be really good to look for signs of life. If there are signs of life out there, we don't know. But it's because it's so sensitive. So the equivalent we like to use is that, the SK would be able to detect the equivalent of an airport radar up to a few tens of light years away. So if there's a starport with some galactic spaceships on a planet a few tens of light years away, well, we'll be able to detect it. So of course that's also pretty exciting.
Wow. Yeah. So Ian says with all this new
Yes,
info on the SKA, that I just feel like I've been flossed between the ears by the cosmos.
Do you know, and that's why we just love our jobs, and I absolutely love my job, because you go to work every day and your mind is blown every day. You know, there's always new facts, new things, bigger numbers. It's always, you know, with astronomy, the bigger the better, you know, and so we always get our minds blown.
And most of all, one of my favorite things about the SKA, which you know I'm besotted with, is that your HQ is at Jodrell Bank.
It is, absolutely. So unfortunately now we're all stuck at home. You know, we're all able to work from home, which is a blessing, really. So we've been working from home since March. But we do have a beautiful headquarters. It's a beautiful building. We have really nice views of the Lovell telescope, and I can't wait to get back, because I can see the Lovell telescope from my office, and that's a real privilege. You know, and it's also obviously, you know, Jodrell Bank is a World UNESCO Heritage Site now, to recognize its contribution to human knowledge, really. And so, yeah, it's really a privilege to be, you know, to be able to work there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Jeff Stevens says, fascinating info. Thank you for explaining it so well. Great to see your enthusiasm.
Absolute pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It is so good. Brilliant science there, Bob says. Thank you. The accolades are coming in. Do you think they're going to be having Blue Dot this year? Probably not.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I did check a couple of weeks ago as a participant, you know, because I absolutely love going, and the lineup was still there. So, you know, I'm sure they'll make an announcement when the time comes. It's quite kind of hard to make plans, isn't it, at the moment?
So last 2019 or 2020, it'll be 2019 when Blue Dot was on, and I couldn't get a ticket. They'd all sold out, and I volunteered to help with Astro to do a little bit of outreach, and they said you can only come in for one day, and I was like, okay. So oh no, I was on BBC News in the morning. So they let me in for one morning. I had to be there at 4:30 in the morning on the first day of Blue Dot, and
oh gosh.
They interviewed me, and I had all my festival gear in the car to go off to another smaller festival. And my friend said to me, they've given you a 3-day wristband there. I was like, what? I got a 3-day wristband, and I ended up staying for free. So thank you, Universal.
I think it was it Chemical Brothers in 2019? I think it was the act on the Sunday.
Yeah, that was the year before. I didn't see that.
Or was it the year before?
Kraftwerk, I think, that I saw.
Kraftwerk. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Very good. Whoa.
Blue Dot is amazing.
Whoa, we might get to dance yet this summer, Matt, outside in the sunshine.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, and everything else, every other appendage. I'll see you later, Matt. Thank you so much.
All right. See you later. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, good stuff. Great. Okay. Wow. Floss between the ear by the cosmos. That is how the SKA makes me feel. And I can see you lot in the chat room have loved it as well. Fabulous. Can't wait to start seeing the SKA info. Yes. So I adore the SKA simply because it's, what can I say? It's amazing. And I think amongst many people, it's relatively still unknown. So anything I can do to help spread the message and spread the word of this insane science experiment. Just ordered my 3D Milky Way card. Well done, John. What's it called? Somebody said what it's called. It's called, I'm scrolling through the comments. Could somebody please tell me what this thing is called again, please? A lenticular something or other, lenticular frame. There we go. Thank you so much. It's wonderful, isn't it? You too can have your own representation of the arms of the galaxy and the Norma arm at your disposal anytime you want to learn. Gonna go in a minute. So thank you to everybody. Oh no, I'll tell you what, before my mic just muted itself. I don't know how long it was muted for. I've gone to all this effort of hoying all the gear down here, and I'm going to make the most of it. So Cosmo has got one last place to travel to in the universe. Where have you been on holiday? Okay. It's a small place, he says. It's a small place about the size of continental United States and only slightly bigger than Earth's moon. So it's little. There we go. So first person to ping it into chat wins a kiss from Cosmo. There is a giant crater about 960 miles across. It's called the Caloris Basin. This crater could fit the whole state of Texas inside it. Am I still on mute? Seconds. Okay, yeah, thank you. That's good. Thank you, Wendy, for being alert there. So it's a small place, only about the size of the United States. There's a giant crater about 960 miles across in it. It's called the Caloris Basin. Where could we be? Vernon has got it correct. Well done, Vernon. You have won. It's muting the microphone on its own now. Why would it be doing that? It's not. Sloth every time I bring it to the computer is muting their microphone. Yes, it is Mercury. It's a little tiny little place. Yeah, well done. Well done, everybody. So final big plug for the Great Winter Skywatch. Go and download your PDF. Get the kids involved. Get the family involved. It's on the Pop Astro website. Look out for us in the newspapers. We're in the papers with this thing. Let me just run through my list, check I've not missed anything out. Oh, yeah, if you want to become an astronaut, tune into ESA Web TV on Tuesday, the 16th of Feb from 12 o'clock GMT for briefings in 6 languages and all you need to know. There's no way will I be becoming an astronaut. I don't like centrifuges. The closest I'll ever get to anything like that is turning over in bed too quickly. We can hear me. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much. Great show. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for all of the lovely comments. Thank you to everybody who's been involved. Thank you to Robin and Paul for organising the Skywatch. I know they've gone to a lot of effort in the past couple of days to hurry it on through and to get the PDF sorted out. You boys are fantastic. Thank you to Kath, also excellent volunteer with the SPA. We'll put Skywatch link on our Astro FB page. Yes. Now, finally, everybody, it's really wonderful when you can share this video. So hit the share video, whichever format you're watching in, hit the share button, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like all the socials. Please do it. What's that? I think I'll pass on the one-way trip to Mars. Yeah, who wouldn't? Oh, why would you want to go to Mars? Seriously? I've got strong opinions about going to Mars, to be quite honest. Having lived in a caravan for a couple of years, I can confirm there's no way do I want to be cooped up in a little tin tube. Nice show, all the presentations. Love seeing the dog. I know the dog stole the show, didn't it? Years ago when I worked in radio, we had these awards called Local Hero Awards, and it's like best neighbor, best most brave kid, you know, all those kind of lovely awards to help the community. And the dog got the biggest round of applause. The dog itself. My mic keeps muting itself because the dog got the biggest standing ovation. From there on in, no more dog awards were allowed because it just usurped everybody. Okay, it's a where's it gone? It's a 3D lenticular. Is that an XQ graph postcard? Catchy name. I think somebody needs to come up with a better name than a 3D lent. Excuse me, have you got any 3D lenticular XQ graph postcards in the gift shop? You know, the ones with the normal arm of the galaxy on. You're just not going to say that, are you, next time you go to the Tate Modern? Another amazing show. Oh, thank you, everybody. I hate pressing the off button. I hate it. Maybe I could just pack up around you and leave it on while I take the backdrop down, unplug the microphone. No, thank you so much, everybody. You've all been gorgeous. Thank you. It has been so lovely. Like, tag, share the video. I've got to go now, haven't we? Cosmo, fresh back from his holiday to the sun and to Mercury. Well done to everybody who got those questions right. See you all later. Back to the desolate darkness of lockdown with Cosmo. Goodbye. Hang on a minute. I'm getting some nice comments come in. Thank you, everyone. True hero for doing this in the cold. Thank you. Lovely backdrop. It's good, isn't it? It was cheap off Amazon. It's covered in spelling mistakes and it's the Southern Hemisphere. It's got the small Magellan cloud on it. And I only just discovered the other day, it's got my favorite star name on it. Zubin El Ghanoubi, except they spelt it wrong and it's Zubinai Ghanoubi. So good night from me and Zuba Ghanoubi. Bye.